If I asked you to name your biggest hero, who would you say? Muhammad Ali? Mother Teresa? Bono? What if the next person I asked that same question to said it was you? Each and every one of us has the ability to be a hero to someone else, and the way to do that is by organ donation. Now, it's a scary idea that a lot of people are hesitant to consider, but hopefully by the end of this conversation, I'll have allayed some fears, debunked some myths, and hopefully see the potential in becoming a donor. Almost immediately when someone is against organ donations, it's due to false myths that get spread around like wildfire. As Winston Churchill stated, a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on. And after contacting the amazing people at Life Gift here in Houston, I found out that one of the biggest fears and misconceptions people have is that they won't be able to have an open casket funeral. This just isn't the case. The donor's body has shown a great deal of respect and reconstructed, so the donor can have their desired funeral. I was also notified that there are a lot of questions regarding costs incurred by donating your organs or tissues. I mean, who wants to go into debt trying to do a good deed? I was assured that this is one good deed that does go unpunished. It turns out that money isn't even allowed to be exchanged in any manner, and you're not even allowed to accept some form of payment if you do decide to donate. I know what you're thinking. Some people just don't take care of their bodies the best. So what about them? First of all, it's better to become a donor and find out that your organs are not eligible than not even take the chance that they are. Second, even if your organs aren't ideal for someone else, it's entirely possible to donate your body to science. Regardless of whether you're a smoker, a drinker, or otherwise unhealthy, your body can be the missing link to cure countless diseases or cancers. But what about religion? The Pew Research Center released a study of 35,000 U.S. participants and found that roughly 77% of the population adheres to some form of religion, and a lot of them believe that it's against their deity to donate. Surely we've all jumped on a Grey's Anatomy or medical show bandwagon by now, and there's always a plot at some point where someone dies because their religion prohibits their blood to be mixed with someone else's. And why? Because of the highly irresponsible lies that's been floating around that certain religions prohibit transfusions or donations. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has been going to great lengths to debunk this line of thinking. They have an incredible section on their organdonor.gov website dedicated to explaining why most major religions have deemed organ donation okay, and it's even broken down by religion. It's pretty neat. But even if you are willing to tentatively go against your beliefs, maybe it'll help to know just who you could be saving. The United Network for Organ Sharing, or more commonly known as UNOS, is an amazing source of donor information. As it turns out, one organ can save 8 people, which is incredible considering roughly 20 people die a day while waiting for a transplant. Even more heartbreaking is that as of today, there's almost 117,000 people needing a transplant and only 8,100 donors. For you maternal and paternal softies in the room, to date there have been over 50,000 transplants performed on patients ranging in age from newborn to 17. Over 50,000 kids have the chance to be something great. And even if they're not the next great thing, they get the chance to live. You can't measure that. But what are these people getting exactly? The National Institute of Health states that the most common organ transplanted is the kidney, and the most common tissue transplant is the cornea, which can restore sight in 2 people's eyes per donation. However, did you know that you can also donate skin tissue to create grafts for burn victim patients, or donate bones to replace cancerous ones and prevent amputation? How about the fact that you can even donate your veins to be used in cardio bypass surgery? Your body can literally save hundreds of lives. Now, I know it's a big deal being an organ donor, and the thought can be quite scary, but a good baby step is to consider donating blood. According to the Central Blood Bank, someone is in need of blood every 2 seconds. Unfortunately, less than 10% of the US population actually donates. This is a huge problem considering the blood needs vary from car accident victims to children diagnosed with cancer or sickle cell. Everyone on that scale needs blood, but they all have a common goal. They all need blood to survive. So you, as a blood donor, have the ability to save countless lives in a relatively painless manner. As a donor and someone that has witnessed the gift of donation firsthand, I can personally vouch for what an incredible gift it can be. You see, about 8 years ago, my brother was involved in a horrific incident. Walking home from the grocery store around 2 a.m., he was attacked by 2 men. Beaten and bloodied, he was left for dead in that grocery store parking lot. Luckily, he was found by a store employee who called an ambulance and rushed him to the nearest hospital. He was unrecognizable, and he was put into a medically induced coma. I watched as pint after pint of donated blood was pumped into his body as staff used screws, bone, and anything else they could to put my brother back together again. But he made it. He pulled through. And although he'll never be the man he was before that night, he's alive. And that wouldn't even be possible without the amazing medical staff, and more importantly, the people that were willing to sacrifice a part of themselves to selflessly save others through donation. So tonight when you go home, think about the last time you had to wait for something instead of having instant gratification for it. What if you never got it, no matter how hard you wished or fought for it, like a promotion or a new car? Remember how it felt, because it was something that you thought that you needed. Now imagine that it's something that you literally cannot live without. This is what people on this organ transplant list are dealing with. They literally cannot live without your help. So if you've taken anything away tonight, I hope that your fears have been put to rest, that you've learned who needs your help, that just being you can cause amazing things to happen, or you have a newly found confidence to say yes to being an organ donor, yes to being a real life superhero, and yes to giving the ultimate gift. Thank you.